My name is Reese Whitmore, and I want to tell you about the Tuesday night that ended my marriage. Except, I didn't say a single word to make it happen. No screaming. No crying in his face. No dramatic, "How could you do this to me?" speech that I'd rehearsed in the shower 100 times. I just made a decision, moved in complete silence, and let the truth do what truth does when you finally stop protecting people from it. And the craziest part? Marcus didn't even realize his marriage was over when he kissed me goodnight that evening. But before I get to that Tuesday, you need to understand something. By the time I found out my husband was cheating, the affair had already been going on for 3 years. 3 years. And the signs had been sitting right in front of me the entire time. I just kept explaining them away. Because loving someone makes you excuse things you would never tolerate from anybody else. His name is Marcus. We met in Nashville during a rooftop bachelorette party that technically wasn't even mine. I was the designated sober friend, standing near the bar with a club soda in my hand, already planning my escape, when Marcus walked over and asked me why. I looked like the only sane person in the building. He was tall, calm, funny in that low-key way that sneaks up on you. And when he talked to me, he had this habit of looking directly into my eyes like there wasn't another person on that rooftop. We dated for 2 years, got engaged, then married on a farm outside Franklin in October with string lights, live music, and my grandmother crying in the front row. Picture perfect. I mean that literally. Our wedding photos got reposted by the venue's Instagram 3 separate times. I was 29 when we got married, 32 when I found the phone. In between those years, I built what looked like a really beautiful life. I worked as a project manager for a healthcare tech company. Good salary, fully remote after COVID, which meant I spent most of my time at home. Marcus worked in commercial real estate. Late nights, client dinners, weekend meetings. That was just the business, according to him. And for a long time, I believed him. At least I tried to. But eventually, the little things started piling up. He started sleeping with his phone face down around 2021. Then came the second number. "It's for work," he told me one night while plugging a second phone into the charger. A lot of agents do this. And honestly, that sounded reasonable. Then the gym started. At 9 o'clock at night, which was hilarious because Marcus had never voluntarily exercised a single day in the entire time I knew him. But somehow I explained that away too. That's what happens slowly. Nobody wakes up one morning and says, "You know what? I think my spouse is living a double life." It happens in tiny pieces. A shift in tone, a delayed text, a new password, a different smell on their clothes. Little things your brain tries to organize into a harmless explanation because the truth feels too heavy to carry. The emotional distance got worse after that. Not cold, not openly mean, just slippery. Like every conversation with him was happening through glass. I brought it up twice. The first time was spring of 2022. I remember standing in our kitchen saying, "Marcus, something feels off lately." He barely looked up from his phone. "You're overthinking again." The second time was that fall. "I feel like you're pulling away from me." That time he sighed hard and leaned back against the counter. "Reese, you've been in a mood for months." "A mood?" "I'm out here working for our future, and somehow I'm still the bad guy." And this is the part I hate admitting. I apologized. Both times. Because he sounded believable. Because gaslighting works best when it's subtle. And because it's deeply uncomfortable to accept that the person you share a bed with might be lying directly into your face. So I kept going. I cooked dinners, booked vacations, sent birthday cards to his mother, showed up smiling at work events. Meanwhile, my marriage was quietly rotting underneath me. Then came the Tuesday in March. The Tuesday that changed everything. Marcus left his phone on the kitchen counter while he jumped in the shower. His real phone, not the work phone. And that alone was unusual. Then it buzzed. Face up, which almost never happened. I looked down automatically. The message preview showed a woman's name I didn't recognize, and 4 words I understood immediately. "Can't stop thinking about last night." I swear to God, my entire body went cold. I picked up the phone. Part of me still believed there had to be an explanation. Maybe a client, maybe a misunderstanding, maybe literally anything other than what my gut had been trying to tell me for over a year. But the second I unlocked it, I knew. Not because of one message, because of hundreds. Photos, hotel confirmations, inside jokes, 3 years of conversations, 3 years of lies, and the worst part wasn't even the cheating. It was how normal he sounded. Comfortable, routine, like I had accidentally opened someone else's marriage. I sat down on the kitchen floor because my legs genuinely stopped working. Still no tears, just this terrifying stillness spreading through me, like every instinct in my body suddenly locked into place. And sitting there on that cold tile, I realized something. I was done protecting him. Now, I think most people in my position would have done one of two things. Either storm into the bathroom screaming, or quietly put the phone down and keep pretending everything was fine. I understood both impulses. I felt both of them. But I didn't do either. Because 3 years of doubting yourself changes you. It sharpens you. By the time I was sitting on that kitchen floor, I wasn't operating on emotion anymore. I was operating on clarity. I put his phone back exactly where I found it. Same angle, same position. Then I stood up and started making dinner. Chicken piccata, his favorite, which honestly feels insane to me now. While the butter melted in the pan, my brain was running a completely different operation. I was thinking about our joint account, the apartment lease we'd renewed 4 months earlier, the shared credit card, the passwords, the logistics, the exit plan. And then Marcus walked into the kitchen wearing a towel, kissed me on the cheek, grabbed the same phone that had just destroyed my marriage, and smiled. "Smells good, babe." That moment messed with me more than the affair itself, because there wasn't even a flicker of panic in him. Not one. I remember staring at him thinking, either this man is a psychopath, or he's been lying to me for so long it feels natural now. That level of calm doesn't come from one mistake. It comes from practice, from repetition, from living a double life long, enough that neither version of yourself feels fake anymore. And here's where things somehow got worse. While Marcus was asleep later that night, I kept reading. That's when I discovered the woman knew about me. Every single thing. There was one message I still remember word for word. She suspects something sometimes, but she'll never leave. She loves me too much. I actually had to put the phone down after reading that. Not because I was crying, because I was furious. Not emotional, furious. That was the exact moment I stopped, feeling sad and started thinking strategically. The next morning, I called my friend Tamara from the car while Marcus was still asleep upstairs. I told her everything. She didn't gasp. Didn't say, "Girl, no." Didn't start pitying me. She just asked, "Okay, how do you want to play this?" And honestly, that question saved me, because she understood immediately that this wasn't about collapsing. It was about control. Over the next 9 days, I moved in complete silence. 9 days. I memorized Marcus's schedule. I screenshotted every message, every receipt, every hotel booking, every photo. I opened a separate checking account and rerouted my direct deposit. I spoke privately with an attorney friend of Tamara's just to understand my options. I made a spreadsheet of every shared asset we had, every subscription, every account, every password. I'm a project manager. This is literally what I do. I build timelines. I identify risks. I execute plans. Meanwhile, Marcus kept acting completely normal. That part still blows my mind. He laughed at dinner, sent me TikToks, asked if I wanted to go to Miami that summer. One night, he wrapped his arms around me while I was brushing my teeth and said, "We should renew our vows someday." I looked at him in the mirror and almost admired the level of deception. Almost. By day 9, I was ready. Marcus had another late client dinner, so I printed everything, not just screenshots. Everything. The timeline, dates, receipts, hotel charges, messages. 12 pages total, double-sided, paper-clipped neatly in the corner. And before I left, I added one final page on top. Just one sentence. "You were right. I did love you too much. Until now." Then I placed the stack directly in the center of the kitchen table where he always dropped his keys. I made myself a cup of chamomile tea, packed one bag, texted Tamara that I was on my way, and before leaving I did one more thing. I forwarded the screenshots to his mother, because if Marcus was comfortable humiliating me in private for 3 years, then he could explain himself publicly. Then I stood in the doorway of that kitchen for a few seconds, looking at those 12 pages under the light, waiting for him. Waiting for the moment his two lives finally crashed into each other. I turned off the lamp, walked out, locked the door behind me, and for the first time in years, I felt calm. Marcus called 37 times that night. I never answered once.